Good morning, good day, and good evening. Welcome to the second episode of the PRASODCAST podcast with your hosts, Steven and Sheldon, just a couple of podcasting brothers. And today, we're going to be opening up the White Flare binder collection, hoping for that white Reshiram, hoping for a hit. Before we start opening up our stacks, I just wanted to maybe ask your experience, Sheldon, because for someone who grew up in the early 90s when obviously Pokemon first came out, and I was all about the hype and everything and followed along. Mm-hmm. But then by the time Pokemon Black and White and Black and White 2 came out, I was kind of out of the game for a little bit, so I didn't really actually get a chance to play the games. Mm-hmm. So for our audience that also hasn't played it, and for myself, can you maybe give us your experiences on Black and White 2?
Yeah, so I actually ended up playing the second one.
One.
And I have a very fond memory of this game because I remember I was quite young.
Yeah.
And you're the one who actually bought me the game from the Langley Mall.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. And I wasn't expecting to get a game that day. And when you're a kid getting a new game of any sort, it's like, oh my God, it's Christmas like every day, right? So I was really, really happy that you got me that game.
I actually don't remember buying it.
Yeah, you actually bought it for me. It was awesome. I don't even know why you bought it for me. You just saw how happy I was to see it, and you're like, I get it. So I was like thrilled about that.
Do you remember which console it was for?
Yeah, it was for the DS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was for the DS.
You had a teal DS.
I had a blue DS, and my blue DS was special because I had an Orlando Magic sticker on it.
Oh, nice.
That was my favorite basketball team back in the day.
Absolutely.
Back when Dwight Howard and Jameer Nelson were on this team, but
and Baby, right?
Yes, yeah. But yeah, the game in general, it's breathtaking. It's one of the best Pokemon games that you can definitely play on the 2D side of it, even the 3D side of it in actuality. The story was really good because it was more of a game that related more to the story rather than just the adventure. Pokemon is more about like the story comes second to the gameplay.
Yeah.
In this game, I felt like the gameplay came second to the story, even though the gameplay was amazing. Mm-hmm. The story really touched you. It was about more of...
Yeah, can you elaborate more on what the story was like?
Because I played the second one, I never got to play the first one, but from what I could take off of it is it's a trainer named N, mm-hmm. and he kind of grew up to be, like how Mewtwo is kind of designed to kind of be this weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah.
N was kind of like that, more in a communicative basis way, because he was able to communicate, from what I remember, with Pokemon.
Oh, what?
And yeah, he was truly some sort of natural at that, and he was taken, or I guess raised by this evil organization trying to manipulate and exploit his talents. So within that, you're a trainer and you're going through a bunch of stuff to kind of get yourself involved within that story.
Yep.
And it unravels in a way that's very heart-touching, which the Pokemon games don't really have, unless you can recall one that was kind of touching. I know it's a video game and it's a 2D graphic, but it was kind of touching from what I remember as a kid.
Yep.
And yeah, the gameplay was great, and those are the things that I remember in terms of the story. And gameplay was like every other Pokemon game, which is pretty fun.
Oh, good. Do you have like a specific section of the game that you like the most?
Yeah, there was this because a lot of the games aren't so challenging, but in this game, I'm not sure if you remember the Battle Frontier and the previous Emerald games.
Possibly, yeah.
So
yeah. Of course,
so
yeah.
It was like their version of that, where you're going into different rooms and battling different trainers, and they made it very difficult. They made it team battles, and it wasn't more so where you could just spam Thunderbolt and you had to use those special attacks that increase your stats, and I think that's when the game was really hammering down on the strategic aspect of the game, and I really like that because I like some games with some challenges to a certain level.
Here's another hard question that I just kind of thought in my head, and that is, what is your, in terms of the anime, in terms of the show, what is your favorite memory of the show? If there's a specific scene or something that you felt was your favorite. I know it's hard.
That's a good one, dude. Okay, so I was a big fan.
I have one for sure.
Oh, you have one? Well, I'll just start with yours.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. So, I have a lot of favorite memories, I feel like, watching the show, but the first one that came to mind is the one I'm just going to talk about is, I remember I was a big fan of the Sinnoh region, right? Mm-hmm. That's around the time where I was 8 or 9, 10 years old, and
Yeah, properly getting into Pokemon.
yeah, gravitating
yeah.
towards this,
Yeah.
understanding kind of the story, and it's not just cartoons to me anymore, right? So it was my favorite memory was in a trainer named Paul. Paul was Ash's rival at the time, right? Super gangster character, right? Super gangster. And he decides at a very young state of his training journey to challenge Cynthia, the champion.
Oh my god, Garchomp.
Yes.
Oh my god.
She is the champion of champions. Right?
Yes.
So it was like
one of the hardest people in all of the games to play
literally.
against.
So it was like a gangster versus the Godfather, right?
Yeah.
So, Paul gets completely obliterated, right? And Paul was actually one of my favorite characters in that show, but watching him get humbled in that moment as someone who's
Oh,
just
no.
so much more dominant and got to showcase Cynthia, who's a great character, who's really, really strong within the show, the game, and I think Pokemon as a whole.
Yep.
So that was one of my favorite moments because I got to play her Garchomp, which is also one of my favorite Pokemon. Next to Gengar, you know why?
I would say, and that's actually a really good one. My favorite, I think, scene of Pokemon is I believe it was the first episode when Ash and Pikachu they set out on their journey,
Okay.
and all of a sudden they see Ho-Oh. Like,
Oh, that's the first episode.
yeah,
right?
yeah. Like when he first sees him, like this is magnificent. Like
Mm-hmm.
such an awesome scene. And obviously at that time he wasn't part of the actual like 151. But
Yep.
then you keep thinking in your head like, oh, which one is this Pokemon sort of thing, right? So that one was definitely something I carried
Yeah.
throughout the years. I'm like, oh, that is such a cool scene.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah. So I guess now we can move on to these stacks and actually open up the White Binder collection. And like we said before, it's summertime, so time to get shredded. So let's shred up these stacks and hope for a hit.
Let's go, man.
All right, Sheldon, will you do the honors, sir? Ooh, nice slide.
Almost dropped it. That's a cool little binder there.
Let's see the binder there.
Check this
Let's
out.
see the art on that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's very, very nice. Take a look at that art there.
Yeah. Hopefully it comes with a card that can help us retire.
All right, so let's start her up.
Oh, I remember this time.
That crisp open.
I tried doing that ASMR stuff. Totally failed. No.
All right, so remember you got to take the energy out like last time.
Out, and then
Yeah,
this-
that goes at the very
Nope.
front. And here we go. Okay, we got a Purloin. A Litwick. Very nice. A Roggenrola. Sigalith. Sure. Thank you. Oh, he's awesome. Gigalith, he's awesome. An Energy Retrieval. Cottony. Is that the Master Ball? No. Oh, Boldor. Oh, cool. I think we got all 3 evolutions in one pack. Whoa, a Bufalon. That's awesome.
Hey.
Good find. Is that the last card?
That is the last card.
No, there's one behind it. A Lillipuff.
Oh yeah, that's pretty last. There you
Yay.
go.
That's awesome. All right, pack 2. What do we got in this one? An Energy, of course. Okay, a Scraggy. A Shelmet. Oh, a Pensier. Yeah. Oh, Oshawott. I like his evolution chain. Tool Scrapper. Archeon, is that what that says? Yeah. Galvantula. Cophagrigus. Thank you. Is this the reveal? Oh,
Ooh.
Chandelure. Very nice. And an Archeops. So I'm guessing we had the evolution chain there in this one too.
Wow.
That's nice.
Nice cards.
Round 3. Let's go. In some bouts, round 3 be the deciding factor, but we have a few more stacks, thankfully. Vanillish, okay. Lampent. Plume Fossil. Seawaddle. Simisear. Cool, we had Pansear earlier. A Leaveney. Stoutland. Cool, I think that's the evolution chain of Lillipup, which we saw earlier. A Ducklet. Another Seawaddle.
Is that a Pokemon?
Another Archeops. Cool. We got one more in the back there.
Well, that's it.
Aww. All right, round 4. Let's see what we get. Another Plume Fossil. Another Seawaddle. Another a Vanillite. Okay. Purloin, another one of those. Another Energy Retrieval. What are you guys opening up the same packs over and over again or something? A Swanna. Heatmore. Hey, a Duwad. We had an Oshawott earlier, so that's cool. A Deerling. Ooh, a Gothlet. Gothitail? Okay. Okay, round 5 of these stacks. Let's hope we get something good this time.
We're getting knocked out, man.
We're getting knocked out. We started off with like Dustin Poirier, and now we're kind of like diamonds.
Who's getting knocked out right now? That's
I
who
don't
we
know.
are.
All right. Last pack, luck and energy. A Dino, okay, that's cool. Like its evolution chain. Woobat. Patrat, yay. Was that a Blitz? Oh, yeah, that's right. Ferrothorn. Another Sigilyph. Oh, another Gigalith. Pignite, that's right. What do we got? Trubbish, okay.
Next card's our last card, dude.
Oh no. Let's hope. Come on, come on.
Drum roll.
Oh, a Zoroark. That's kind of cool.
I mean, not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. Let's see what we got here. I mean, yeah, it's a cool looking Zoroark. That's pretty cool. All right, let's round them up and see what we get in the end. We pulled some decent cards that I'm gonna look further into. It's kind of like last time where,
Yeah, just all failures. Like
no. I was hoping for that white Reshiram, but we got a Chandelier and a Bouffalant in its place, and
Bouffalant.
yeah, it's okay.
I feel boofed right now. Every other YouTube video is like, Fold it.
We'll get there eventually, and
Yeah.
that's the thing about Pokemon. Is like we said before, it's all about the fun, and we had a great time doing this.
Yeah, it was fun.
But we also want to let the audience know as well that we're not just a Pokemon podcast. We'll be diving into a bunch of different things to talk about, things that interest us. You know, for some, Star Wars, Marvel, UFC, just to list a
Sports,
few.
politics.
Yeah, no, we'll be diving into a few more things. So please stay tuned, and as we've said before, please comment, like, and share. And if you're with them, increase the algorithm.
Yeah.